welcome back to the channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Carmen. I'm an artist sharing her life here on YouTube, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than my previous ones. Back in November, I went on a really amazing trip around Kyushu, Japan, and I thought it would be fun to talk about it today in the form of a photo diary. And I'm not going to be talking about it alone, because I didn't go alone. Welcome to my husband, Casey.
Welcome to my husband.
Welcome to the channel, my husband, Casey. Welcome.
Thanks for finally having me. It's been long overdue.
Normally, you're behind the camera.
Yeah, normally I help you film and edit some of your YouTube videos.
It's honestly, the videos look as good as they do because of this guy.
Aw, thanks for the compliment.
It's true.
So today, you have me on to kind of walk through our vacation together.
We went to Japan before in 2019 to go on our honeymoon.
Yeah, we went to Tokyo, and we did a few day trips out of Tokyo, but this time we went all across Kyushu.
Yeah, we wanted to explore a different side of Japan, and Kyushu, I feel like, gets overlooked a little bit on the internet. So we started out in Fukuoka, and I have to say, my jet lag was really, really, really bad. And the reason is that I kind of worked up right up until we were gonna leave.
That wasn't very smart, was it?
No, it wasn't smart. I was exhausted before the trip even started. So when the jet lag hit, it hit me like a truck.
One of those first things you have to do when you go to Japan is get ramen.
Yeah, and Fukuoka is known for the tonkatsu ramen.
Yeah, and we went to the social media famous Blue Bucket Ramen. I think the owner, they hang out Blue Bucket when he's really happy with the way his broth turned out.
Yeah.
And that was delicious.
Yeah.
A great way to start the trip. And after our ramen,
we went to the Grand Sumo tournament, which I'm so happy that we managed to go to. Grand Sumo tournament is, I think, the biggest event around sumo wrestling. And yeah, it was happening for 2 weeks in Fukuoka that time.
Yeah, it lined up with our trip perfectly.
So we got tickets. It was a perfect thing to do the first day because we just got to go to the venue, sit down, and watch this spectacle in front of us. You get sucked into that energy. It's very high energy. Everyone's very excited. There's a lot happening. It's very suspenseful. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I enjoyed it even more than I thought it would, and I'm just really happy that we went.
Yeah, I think it was a perfect way to kind of open our trip too. So the next day, you kind of woke up with a bit more energy, I think. Our goal was just to get some good food and to do a bit of walking and exploring Fukuoka.
Yeah, and to go to Ori Park.
Yeah.
That was the main thing that we wanted to do that day, which is a gorgeous park in Fukuoka with a big lake with swan boats on it and this island in the middle that you can walk through. I really, really love the energy in this park. The weather was great too, which is always awesome.
Yeah.
And we stumbled across the Fukuoka castle ruins on the way there, which we didn't even really know were there. No. We just stumbled on it, and we went up. You can climb up a bit and onto the ruins, and you get a great view of the city, 360 view, which was lovely surprise. So on day 3, we went on our first day trip. We went to Dazaifu, which is an area right outside Fukuoka. It's a very short train right there, and I really recommend visiting it. Here we had a lot of great food. We had mentaiko baguette.
Absolutely delicious.
10 out of 10. Mentaiko is spiced cod roe, and in this case, they had put it on a freshly baked baguette. It's right outside the station. You can't miss it. We went back for this towards the end of our trips. It was that good. And there is a really gorgeous Shinto shrine, which is the main attraction when you come here, with a street full of shops leading up to the shrine.
And we happened to be there at peak autumn foliage. The whole area was so beautiful. Yeah. We got some great photos, videos, of course, but just being there, the shrine kind of surrounded by the beautiful colors of the leaves, and the atmosphere was just incredible.
I feel like it made it 10 times more magical, just those leaves all around. And there's also this famous ox statue right when you walk in. They say when you rub its head that you become wiser. So, of course, everyone's standing in line to rub the head.
Do you feel wiser?
Tiny bit, maybe.
But yeah, Dazaifu, you probably already have it on your top of your itinerary if you're going to Fukuoka, but I'd say it's worth going twice.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Again, the jet lag hit me like a truck, and day 4 was a perfect example of that because honestly, I was just too exhausted to really be super active that day. We had a lovely lunch. We went shopping for a bit. I got this wonderful, beautiful coat that you will see in a lot of the pictures moving forward.
So yeah, you were kind of stuck in the hotel.
I took a
kind
nap.
of tired. You took a nap. So I just kind of explored around Tenjin at night, and I think after that we headed to the convenience store.
Oh, yeah, when I woke up from my nap, I was craving pudding.
So we decided to do what you do when you go to Japan, is kind of go to convenience stores and rate the foods. So
Yeah, we picked up puddings from every convenience store, blindfolded ourselves, and did a blind taste test to see which one was our favorite.
And the winner
won?
is Lawson's.
Lawson's. Yeah, Lawson's had the best pudding. Yeah. We're pudding experts, so just take our word for it.
So the next day, I think you finally had your legs under you a bit. And we were in Fukuoka for quite a bit of time that first week. We planned to just, hey, let's go on a long, long walk. I think on average for our trip, we averaged 30,000 steps per day.
I don't think I've ever walked as much as I have on this trip. But it was worth it.
I think we walked from Tenjin, like one of the main hubs in Fukuoka, all the way out to one of these residential neighborhoods.
The edge of the city, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's a really beautiful area. It's like very hilly, and you get a lot of views that are, kind of looking down the cityscape. But yeah, the light was hitting really nice, and we kind of go with the intention of when we go on these long walks, hey, let's try to soak in the environment a bit, maybe take some photos and videos and kind of capture our surroundings.
Yeah, and I think one of our favorite things to do on trips is go to these residential areas because you can kind of get a feel of what day-to-day life is like. When you go to touristy places, obviously everything is very overwhelming, and places like this, you just kind of get a sense of what real life is like, and it's always really calming. You can take your time. There's no lining up to take pictures.
Yeah.
It's always a really lovely experience, and my favorite memories from any trip that we've ever been on has always been going on these types of walks.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
They're always a highlight of our trips.
On day 6, we went on our next day trip, and we went to a Nanzoin Temple, which has the largest reclining Buddha statue in the world. It's almost, you can't even put it to words what this feels like to see this in real life.
Yeah, and this area, it wasn't as touristy as I was expecting.
No, I thought this would be packed with people, but I don't know if we just lucked out on the time that we went to these things, but pretty much anywhere we went, even to a place like this, which is really well known and super popular, it wasn't that bad. The tourists, there were people there, but it was fine.
Yeah.
The scale of this Buddha statue is, photos don't really do it justice. This is something you have to see with your own eyes. And we actually saw a really large Buddha statue before in Kamakura.
Yeah, on our first vacation to Japan.
This was definitely, this was like a similar experience, but this was even more like, wow.
Yeah.
How did they do this?
I think around the statue too, there's a lot of small little hidden shrines, and those again just feels like you're there on your own almost.
Yeah, especially there. I didn't know that there were more shrines around the Buddha, so definitely just take your time to explore the surrounding area. It's a nice little hike. You can go up a bit, and you'll run into little shrines everywhere. And there was no one there, which really surprised us. But yeah, it's a gorgeous place.
And we got our first set of stamps here.
We did. We got this beautiful 3-part stamp. I think you have to stamp it in a certain order, and then it formed this really beautiful stamp. Yeah, that was fun.
So that marks the end of our first week in Kyushu. And then we were on to our next destination, which was
Nagasaki.
Nagasaki. Tell me about Nagasaki, Carmen.
Nagasaki really surprised me. We arrived kind of towards the end of the day, and the first thing we did was go on the Nagasaki ropeway, which takes you up to a viewpoint. We went there right before sunset, so we got to see a nice beautiful view of the entire city.
This view.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think it's the best view I've ever seen in my life.
And you've traveled a lot.
I've traveled a lot, so that says something. That was a gorgeous view, and I'm really happy that we went right around sunset because we got to wait and see everything go dark and all the lights from the city come to life. Yeah, that was really magical. And it's another one of those things that, you know, I think we actually did get some great pictures, but seeing it in person is just a whole nother level of wow.
So our first full day in Nagasaki, we plan to kind of visit a lot of different destinations. And Nagasaki is a place where there's a lot of elevation.
Yep.
It's kind of really unique, the architecture and how it's all laid out.
Yeah, it's really cool to see all the neighborhoods that are in the mountains.
Yeah.
Is that how you would say it? Yeah. Like you can see the elevation, all the neighborhoods that go up, and that's kind of what we did.
Yeah, you have to climb a lot of steps. And again, one of those days where our step counter kind of went off the charts a little bit. It was very exhausting, but when you kind of get up to those viewpoints, it's so worth it.
It's so worth it. And the architecture is super unique. Every corner that you turn, you see something new. You come across lots of cats in Nagasaki, which was awesome. It was so cute. And yeah, this hike, I can say pretty confidently is my favorite hike that we went on the entire trip.
Wow.
Yeah, the view, just something about those views in Nagasaki hit different. Yeah, Nagasaki was very special to me.
And of course, we all know the tragic history of Nagasaki. We visited the Nagasaki Peace Memorial. Once you get there, you get to descend a flight of stairs, and you're in there. The memorial itself is so beautiful. It's so well done.
Yeah.
It's when you're there, the memorial and the surrounding grounds, the Peace Park, you feel something. It's so hard to put into words, really.
It is very hard to put into words. I think it has something to do with just seeing the resilience of the city, because it's a bustling city. You know, life has moved on from that horrible moment in time, and that's just it's a very powerful feeling, and I think it left a lasting impression on both of us.
Yeah.
Our last stop for today was the Hollander Slope and the surrounding area. As a Dutchie, it was very fun to see this area. The Netherlands was actually one of the first, if not the first country to trade with Nagasaki. Obviously, Nagasaki has a massive trading hub, and this area in particular is where a lot of the merchants, I guess, the merchants, they had their houses there.
Welkom in mijn Nederlandse huis. Ik ga een rondleiding geven.
And they're very, I don't know if I would say European feeling. They're almost more like American feeling, the houses. But obviously it's very different from Japanese architecture. And there's also cobblestone streets, and you can feel the European influence there, which is really cool. And there's also, at the top of the city, there is a place called Glover Garden, which is super fun to visit. You have to pay to get in, but it's a really beautiful garden. It oversees the port. I think this was worth a visit. It's also where a really large old houses of, what's this guy's name? Something Glover. Something that they were constantly advertising here is the Castella cake. We got a few small pieces, and in the hotel, I was so excited to try this because it's everywhere. This is like the thing. And it's just pound cake. Everyone's fighting in the comments, though why Castella cake is superior.
So our next stop was Takeo Onsen, which is kind of an old onsen town in between Nagasaki and Kumamoto. And Takeo Onsen, we stayed at a very, very retro hotel. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, very retro. But I think the owner of the place is actually a vintage collector.
Oh yeah. When you go into the lobby, there's so much
junk. No, but it's like well curated junk. You know what I mean?
And it happens to have a lovely onsen.
Yeah, the onsen was really great. I think this is the first onsen of the trip.
First onsen trip. Yeah.
The hotel itself also felt very vintage. You could tell it wasn't renovated in a long time.
Those hallways.
The hallways were a bit, I feel like it would be a really good location for a horror movie. But it had a charm to it that you can't replicate.
Yeah, sleeping on the futon was really comfortable.
Yeah, first time on a futon too.
Yeah, the tiny little Japanese TV.
Yeah, it was a really fun stay. I really enjoyed staying here. So this was kind of a stop in between Nagasaki and Kumamoto, like we said. We didn't stay here for super long, just one night. We did do something really fun here though. We went on a nighttime walk around a really beautiful garden. I forget the name, but I'll put it up on the screen. It's this really beautiful curated garden. And at night they shine lights on all of the trees.
And once you kind of walk through the garden, you are presented with an exhibition from Team Labs. A lot of really interesting installations.
That was a really fun night. We stayed there for a while, and we stayed there until so late that by the time we were finished, all the restaurants were closing up, which is something we didn't really think about.
Even the Moss Burger
was closed. So we had a convenience store dinner
in our retro hotel room in front of our tiny little TV. It was so fun though.
It was so fun. It's one of those moments that's so memorable because it's so silly, but yeah. After a really lovely morning dip into the onsen, we left to our next location, and our next location was Kumamoto. What's the first thing that we did in Kumamoto?
We went to go and see the world famous mascot,
Kumamon!
Hey!
We went to Kumamon Square, where he was dancing, looking cute. We took lots of pictures and videos, and we bought our first souvenir right away. These little
Kumamon keychains.
Kumamon keychains.
So cute. So cute.
Which were made out of ceramics. I thought that was really cool, hand painted. Favorite souvenir from the entire trip.
Mine too.
And if Kumamon is everywhere. I think he's the most successful mascot in all of Japan. So after we visited Kumamon, we had a really delicious lunch that was recommended to us by the beautiful hostel that we were staying in. And yeah, we went to this mom and pop shop. We both had a very yummy meal. I'm going to come back to this meal later, and you'll soon find out why. For now, let's put a pin in that. We also walked around and explored Kumamoto, just exploring the streets, walking around. We went to a really beautiful mall that they have there.
So our second day in Kumamoto, we went for another long walk. We walked to a really gorgeous park in Kumamoto. I forget the name exactly, but
put it up on screen.
Put it on screen.
Yeah.
And this park was really gorgeous. You have to pay to get in.
Yeah.
And there's like a shrine, and a lot of the grounds are so well maintained.
There were people all across the park taking care of the trees, making sure that they're perfectly shaped and trimmed, and yeah, very well manicured park. Really beautiful koi pond as well. And it was just a good visit. Yeah. And the area itself is really pretty too.
Yeah. And after the park, we walked a bit further into a neighborhood. We were on the hunt for a very special someone.
We went to see Monkey D. Luffy. So yeah, that was definitely worth a little detour for.
And later that evening, we headed to Kumamoto Castle,
which obviously is a must visit.
Yeah, and we got there right around golden hour, which was incredibly gorgeous.
Yeah.
The way the light was hitting the castle, oh my god.
But it did kind of make us rush to go to the top, because the top has this really beautiful lookout, which is all glass, and you can see the entire city from it. So we kind of rushed up there to go see the view before the sun went down.
We missed a few of there's a lot of like details within the castle, kind of like a museum almost. Yeah,
it's actually really big. I didn't realize there was so much to see inside the castle. They did a really beautiful job at showing the history of the castle, showing what the samurai were like. There's a samurai armor that you can see. And when you're done in the actual castle, you can go back down, and around the castle there's actually lots of food stalls and shops, which we really enjoyed too. I had this really lovely yuzu hot cider.
Oh yeah.
That was delicious. Yeah. Did we have anything else?
We had menchikatsu, I think.
Oh yeah, menchikatsu.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Yeah.
I think that's it then. Yeah.
But it's just a really cool atmosphere down there too. Yeah.
What I didn't mention yet about this day is that all throughout the day, I was getting these stabby pains in my stomach. And it was just getting worse and worse as the day went by, which is also why I had the hot cider. I'm like, oh, I need something hot for my stomach. That was not gonna do anything for me though, because it turned out I had food poisoning. So yeah, I got really bad food poisoning, and it kind of derailed the next couple days of our trip. So
it's very unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate.
We were headed to Oita next.
Yeah, we were gonna go to Oita because it's a nice central place to take day trips from. We were gonna go to Yufuin, and there were a few old samurai towns around this area that I really wanted to go see, but alas.
You were stuck in the hotel room for, I think it was honestly 2 days straight.
Yeah, because we stayed 2 nights in Oita, and both those days I could not leave the hotel room.
So all we really did was...
You went out and you took nighttime pictures.
Yeah, and brought back a bunch of snacks from the kombini, and we ended up watching Shrek 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, that was unfortunate. And I think even after Oita, on our next destination, you were still not feeling the best. And it was your birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For your birthday, we were headed to Beppu, which is a hot spring town. It's really famous for the beautiful hot spring. And we booked a really fancy ryokan. Yeah. It was high up in the hills of Beppu, overlooking all the onsen hot spring. And you were still really sick, weren't you?
I was still really sick. I had this pain in my stomach. I've never had food poisoning before, so I guess it was kind of my first time experiencing what that's like. And the pains in my stomach were really, really horrible. And we also had, at this ryokan, we were going to get a lovely kaiseki meal.
Yeah, you couldn't enjoy it as much as you hoped, right?
Fortunately, I didn't have to throw up. That wasn't the issue, if you understand what I mean. But yeah, I mean, if there was going to be a place to get stuck in, a nice fancy ryokan is preferable, I suppose. So that's like the little silver lining.
Yeah.
Plus we got some amazing views, and we got a private onsen in the room, which was really lovely to just soak and kind of forget about all the,
all your troubles.
All my troubles.
And the next morning we had a really lovely breakfast in the ryokan before we left. And we couldn't really do much this day either, unfortunately.
One thing I'll say is that if you get food poisoning in Japan, at least Japan has the best toilets in the world.
Beppu is so fun. It's kind of really retro, maybe Showa era Japan, and at night it really comes to life. All the izakayas and restaurants, and there's a lot of energy, and the locals are so fun.
It's a resort town, so people come here to just relax and unwind, essentially.
And we met up with a friend. She took us to a really, really cool local yakitori place.
I am so sad that I wasn't able to eat much, because if I was just at my normal self, I would have eaten so much here. The food was amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of those spots that you just can't really find as a tourist, or is hard to get into. But she managed to get us into this place, and it was delicious. We would have never found that without her, so thank you, Yuki.
Thank you so much.
We were actually supposed to go to another different location, but since I was still sick, we decided to stay another night in Beppu, and we really enjoyed Beppu as well, so we were like, okay, you know what, and let's not do any traveling right now and just explore Beppu some more, which we did, and it was super lovely. There's a beautiful park there to explore. We also found this really cool bookshop. It's a secondhand bookshop, and it was the messiest, yet the most aesthetic bookshop that I've ever seen. You know what I mean? It's like so messy that it becomes an aesthetic on its own.
Yeah.
It's just right out on the street. It's really cool. And I got recommended a certain medication that you can buy in Japan. People actually bring this home all the time because it works so well. Apparently, it's like a military grade thing, which is why they don't really sell this anywhere else. But it worked. I took this pill, and like 3 hours later, I was
Starting to feel better.
starting to feel better.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, I wish I found out about this 4 days ago. But you know,
That's how it goes sometimes.
that's how it goes. Just really happy that I found it anyway. So thank you, internet, for pointing me in that direction. And I got to finally enjoy myself a bit more.
But yeah, Beppu, such an amazing place.
I would love to go back there. It was, it's, you know, yeah. Honestly, every place that we went to is must visit, but I'll just say it again, must visit. And I am really happy that I was feeling better because our next stop is Miyazaki. And I will say that this part of the trip is where I had the best food.
Yeah, Miyazaki is famous for a few dishes. Miyazaki beef. Their chicken is
the charcoal
supposedly
chicken.
really, really top notch in Japan.
Chicken nanbun.
Chicken nanban, and everything we had here was incredible.
Yeah. It is the best food that we had on the trip, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Miyazaki itself is such a cool place.
Yeah, it has that beach town vibe. There's palm trees everywhere right when we get there. And just the way everything is laid out, for some reason, felt very different from the other cities that we went to. I can't really put my finger on what that was, but we loved this place.
Yeah.
We went to the Miyazaki Jingu, which is a Shinto shrine. There was no one here. Again, and that happened a lot in Miyazaki, actually. For some reason, it didn't seem super touristy.
I think this is a theme across this entire video in Kyushu. But you kind of feel like you have it to yourself.
Yeah, there were not many moments where I felt overwhelmed by tourists, which I think is pretty rare in Japan from what I've heard.
Yeah.
So we were pleasantly surprised by that. There's so many places we were able to just really go at it with taking pictures and taking our time. And we only stayed one night in Miyazaki. We wanted to stay more, but a lot of the hotels were already booked. I think because it was the weekend. And then the hotels that were left were incredibly expensive. So we just went with the one that just had one night left. I definitely would have wanted to stay here longer.
Yeah, me too.
And so on the second day, we tried to stay in Miyazaki for as long as possible until the next location. And I'm really happy that we did. We went to the Heiwadai Park, which I loved. It doesn't feel like a traditional park. It's very different. It's almost like
And maybe a nature reserve.
yeah, it's almost closer to a nature reserve or, you know, a forest. There's lots of things to see here. There's a really cool tower where you stand on this thing, you clap, and you hear it bounce back. That was really cool. This park, this area, kind of felt like going into the Lost Woods of Zelda. That's how I would describe it, honestly. That's how it felt. It felt very magical, and I loved walking around here.
Yeah, me too. I think this entire day was maybe my favorite day of the entire trip.
I agree. From Miyazaki, we moved on to Kagoshima, which is known for the massive volcano island that you can see from the city, and that's the first thing that we went to see. And we kind of took the tough way to get there. I didn't do very good research on how to get to the viewpoint, and I just looked on Google Maps and I went, oh, we just go here. And we walk, we follow these steps, and we start going up, and then we suddenly realized that there were a lot more steps to go, because it kind of counts down, I think, too, or it shows you how many steps are left. And it becomes steeper and steeper and steeper. We had to take breaks in between, that's how steep this was. And then when we finally made it to the top of the viewpoint, first of all, I thought to myself, how does anyone do this? Like older people or people who, you know, can't walk very well. How does anyone get here? And then I realized there were lots of other ways to get there. Of course. There was a shuttle bus. There was just like a less steep walkway all the way up to the viewpoint that we completely missed. Yeah,
It was fun. It was a nice workout.
It was a good workout. It was definitely a good workout, and the view was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You rewarded with one of the best views in all of Kyushu. So, so we just did one night in Kagoshima, and we were headed back to Fukuoka.
Yeah.
We had, I think, planned 4 more nights in Fukuoka to end the trip.
Yeah, just to kind of bookend the trip, do some shopping. I think we actually went about that very smart, because the thing when you get to Japan is you see so many cool things and souvenirs to buy that I think we could have easily just been purchasing stuff all throughout our trip, and then end up with a bunch of junk that you don't actually need. So what we did is whenever we saw something that we really wanted, we took pictures, and then those last 4 days of Fukuoka, we actually went back to the things that we actually really wanted. Yeah. And I think we ended up with some really good souvenirs. I love them all, and we didn't get too many.
However, when we were right back into Fukuoka, you remember what we did first? Went to Dazaifu again.
Oh, we did. Yeah, so Dazaifu, that's when we, again, had the mentaiko and a karaage sandwich.
But we also went back for a stamp.
Yeah, we also went back for a stamp because we'd missed that the first time, and we really wanted to make sure to collect a stamp from the temple. We also visited the Christmas market. There were lots of little Christmas markets all around the city. And there was one particular one that was my favorite. I think you know why.
The one with all of the Santa Claus.
With all of the Santas. This is the most fever dream of a Christmas market I've ever seen. There were so many Santas here. Everywhere you looked, I just got into this laughing fit. I couldn't stop laughing because it was so ridiculous. Every corner that you turned, there was this group of Santas. And they did a really good job at putting lights in the trees and stuff. Japan does that really well, to really get you in that festivity mood. Yeah. And that was pretty much it. That was our entire trip. What was your favorite city?
I mean, I already kind of spoiled it.
You already kind of said it, yeah.
Miyazaki for sure. Just the atmosphere there, the climate, the people, the food. We had some of our most incredible walks there, and took some great photos there too. Beppu's a close second for me. Yeah. But yeah, Miyazaki for sure. And how about you?
Well, for me, Nagasaki was just so incredibly memorable. For me, the walk around the neighborhoods up in the mountains, that was my favorite moment of the entire trip, because of the views and the atmosphere, and just being just the 2 of us, that was really nice too, because it was super quiet there. And I just think we saw some really cool, we did a lot of fun discoveries on that walk, and the view, I just can't get over the views of Nagasaki. Yeah. Something about that place, all the elevation. Maybe it's because I'm Dutch and I have a lack of elevation in this country. Maybe that's why it did so much for me. But also just the mix of that Europeanness of the city against the super Japanese rest of the city is really interesting. There's a lot of just fun contrasting stuff there, and that's a place I really would love to go back and stay longer and explore more. And traveling around Kyushu has definitely made me want to go back and explore the rest of Japan. We haven't actually been to all the big ones like Osaka, Hiroshima, Kyoto.
Not yet.
I would love to go see those as well, but I'm also really happy that we chose Kyushu to go to, because it's just such a unique experience. And again, just feeling like you have it to yourself was really nice. Sure. I'd also really love to go to Hokkaido someday, me too. Go up north. I want to do it all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's very different, so let me know in the comments what you thought of it, and I hope to see you again next time.
After you like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, after you like and subscribe. Good. He's learning. All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.